Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is our work session for the month of March. We have an audience. There is time for questions here later. Recognition of meetings, item E. We had personnel from 6 to 6:59, State of Laurel, 7:07 to 7:25, regular meeting of the board, and 7:31 to 8:01 p.m. State of the Laurel budget. Item 2A, private conferences, next week. And just out of curiosity, Mr. Snyder, are you here to observe us tonight, or?
Yep, yeah, that's basically it. One of my speeches I do, I talk about just joining and doing a school board meeting, and so I thought it'd be appropriate to just observe it.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
We don't want to look like, we should have came on the next Tuesday.
Item 4, any reports from any standing committees of the board? Item 4, administrator supervisor.
Driver meeting this month. I just usually every month we have a meeting. I always ask the drivers what's on their minds, how's things going for them. A lot of it is, I think the monitor we have putting around on the buses is helping. We have a bus that kind of has some reports. We try to get the monitor on there. I think that's working well for them. I think some of the attitudes are more positive. I still have some people that are leaving regardless. It's just time for them to go. They want to be done. So just trying to find out who's doing what so we can prepare for the rest of the year.
Is there a request of 1 or 2 more officers on a permanent basis?
So last night I attended our Project Hope meeting at the elementary, and so I mentioned it at the meeting. They are going to post something at all of their churches that we are looking for bus monitors.
I think it helps tremendously that way. I just pretty much concentrate on what's going on the roads. And we all know the traffic on 422 there. And I don't know, I don't know, maybe Monday or something, they said it was unbelievable, the traffic out there. I don't know, they said it was unreal. Sometimes we can't get out of the side roads, you can't. But
That's probably the worst area we have.
yeah, definitely. From the Harley shop all the way down to Sheets.
Yeah.
We come out across the street from the Harley shop, we have to get off of that side. And we're cutting across on Copper Road, and we're coming at the light at Sheets. And sometimes we're stuck at that light because the light doesn't work sometimes. They were on the radio talking about that. There was a tractor trailer was back, and the light never changed. It was like 10 minutes they sat out there. So there are just a lot of issues out there. Knowing that so many people were trying to be gone, I'm going to try to put a class together in April. We're going to try to do some advertising so we can have a decent size class. But I still have a couple people interested in driving that I already know to try to get them back in the game. As far as buses, I have no major issues with anything at the moment. We're just continuing routine maintenance.
Any questions for Mr. Snyder?
Just one question. Are we getting away from most of the diesel buses the way we're trying to go? No.
We're going to stay in diesel.
Okay.
We only have 2 gas, we have 2 propane.
Oh, okay.
They're pretty much the same engines. One's just powered with propane, one's powered with gas. Propane's were 2015 model.
Would we ever do propane again?
Probably not.
That was all great and center.
Yeah.
I don't see any advantages to it. Our diesels have more of they have an exhaust brake on it, what helps with the brakes on the bus. The gas and the diesel and the propanes don't. I'm noticing over the last years that they're wearing brakes out more, and the price of brakes nowadays are. We used to a brake drum. We used to be able to get them for under $100. Some of the brake drums now are $260, $280 for one. Plus the brakes, so it's $500 or $600 to do a brake drum on the back, just our cost. So that's just some of the things that the propane is. Sometimes we have problems fueling that. We're doing that more this winter. that was freezing up, and we had some cold times up there, but other than that, they've been fine, okay, but, for the price, I think the diesel's the way to go now.
Yeah, I mean, they give us discounts at the time. I don't
Yeah.
think they're gonna make more. So that's-
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions for Joe? Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Last month, we installed a new garage door down at the Bow Ag shop, the overhead door, the gear drive. It was from 97. I couldn't get anybody to work on it. It didn't seem, it would go up, but it wouldn't go down, so we ended up putting a new one in. We installed another pump for the boiler side, or the gym side of the school. We had one pump that was leaking pretty bad, took it down. Ended up, gonna rebuild it for like $150 cheaper and buy the new one, so we just went to put a new. We had our annual stage and wrestling mat lift inspection. That was done right before the play. And then our combi oven that we were talking about possibly having on the budget to replace the kitchen. They had code after code after code. Well, finally, we had a guy come in here and actually do a gas test on it, and with everything on, we were running out of fuel. So we took and pulled everything apart and tested it right. And we ended up finding out that they had a regulator on the side with all the machines. And it had a 1/2 inch orifice in it and everything else was 1.25 pipe. We pulled the regulator out and it was still pulling the same number, but it didn't drop. We haven't had an error since. So we got that fixed. That's the combi, just letting you know, it's $40,000 for a new one. So I'm thinking we did all right on that. And then, officially, since I've been here, we have every sink and urinal and toilet, nothing shut off. So that's a bonus to me. We had to do some crawling and blowing out walls to get inside walls to get at it. We're all officially running again.
Any questions for Mr. Jones? Thank you.
So I found a grant by United States Sheriff's Deputy Association for ballistic body armor. So they donated new body armor for me. These have a shelf life of 5 years, and I brought this with me, so it's not new. So that's going to save us between $900 and $1,100. Now it is just the armor, so at some point I'll have to get the exterior carrier. That's a couple $100 as opposed to $1,500. So that was nice. I was able to find that and get that. I had Mrs. Heights measure me, and no matter what Mr. Rich says, it fits.
You're not a 48, 50-52.
So we'll see when it comes in. It might be a little bit.
Are these just Kevlar? They have.
Yeah, so that's just the Kevlar, the soft armor. Okay. That's inside the Kevlar. So that's what they're donating. And just that itself, like I said, is at least $900. So that's a nice savings we're able to get. We ordered and actually have most of everything for a new Raptor system at the high school in the vestibule, and we're ordering another one, the same, or not the same setup, but similar at the elementary school. So I have protocols typed up and ready to go, but I want to wait till the systems are there, put in. We troubleshoot them, make sure everything's working right, and then we'll have some more secure protocols for people coming into and out of the building. And like I said, those have been shared with administration. We've worked on it, gone back and forth, so we've got some good ideas with that, and that'll really help limit any extra traffic inside while kids are here. So that's something it's a work in progress. That's pretty much it.
Any questions for? Thank you. Mrs. Clayton.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. Special ed totals have not changed. We're still at 120. Thinks I have too much to say. 504s were 26 and GIPs were 14. We're pretty stable since the beginning of the year. We haven't really changed at all. We've had some move-ins, some move-outs, which has maintained our numbers with students. Our core team at the elementary school, they're doing a great job. And I know that Nicole and Dan have talked in previous months. We currently have 37 students doing our MTSS process, receiving academic or behavioral interventions. So that's tier 2. So it's providing a little bit more than what's in the classroom. They may be pulled out for an extra half hour or an hour a week to work on academics or behavior. The speech pathologist is currently working with 13 students on articulation primarily. So a lot of students who are, this is the process that we go through before students are ever referred to special education, which again helps maintain our numbers. Our PASA, which is the alternative assessments for students with disabilities, grades 3 through 6 and 11, will begin on March 10th, and we currently have 4 students taking that assessment. Mrs. Bintrim and I will hold our transition meetings for the 6 seniors. The purpose of this meeting is just to ensure that they're prepared to graduate, that everything's in place with outside agencies, with any type of colleges or post-secondary education. So it's really just making sure our seniors are where they need to be once they graduate so that then they can move on into their life. That's a scary, scary thing sometimes. So we're excited to hold those meetings. And our bocce team had killed it this year. They came in 2nd in the county. They are going to regionals at Geneva College on March 11th. The competition starts at 9:40 in the event anybody would like to go. They are playing at 10 o'clock against Shenango, first round, and it is single elimination. So they're super excited. And the bocce team did raise over $4,230 for Special Olympics at the Polar Plunge. All good stuff.
Any questions for Mrs. Lake? Thank you. Mr. Lake.
Good evening, everybody. A couple athletic achievements here first. Both boys and girls varsity basketball teams made the playoffs. Girls advanced to the WPL quarterfinals, and the boys advanced to the round of 16. So I want to congratulate Coach Locke and Coach LaRocco and the girls and boys for their achievements there. Today we marched the 4 state wrestlers through the hallways. They left today. They'll be wrestling in the first and second rounds tomorrow. Hopefully advance to Friday, and then hopefully they advance to Saturday where the medal rounds will be at Hershey. So we're talking about Casey Wilson, Colton Carlson, Braxton Carr, and Maggie Alfera as our girl representative this year. I know I've only been around for 2 musicals, but that third bullet up there, I can't say enough. If you came out to the show 2 weekends ago, it was sold out pretty much every night. I was there Sunday. I think our auditorium holds 660 some. My rough estimate was 600 on Sunday. I know Miss Columbus was there on Friday. Mr. Rich was there Saturday, and they said the same. So I just want to congratulate Amy, our new musical director, not only her, but the students involved and the whole team, because well received by the community, came out, and her as the first show, I think that deserves a lot of credit to her. So I definitely want to make that mention. And then tomorrow starts day 30 days until the PSA testing window. We don't have a day off of school until Easter. So it's going to be a long stretch, not only for the students, but the teachers, and that'll be a straight prep towards the PSA, because when we come back from Easter, students will be grades 3 through 8 taking the PSA exam. So that's what we have on track for academics.
Any questions for Mr. Lake? Thank you. Mrs. Columbus.
Hi, everyone. So just some attendance updates. Of course, it's that time of year everyone's still sharing germs. So we're at a 91% average at the high school and a 93 at the elementary, which was kind of surprising to me because we've been sending quite a few kids home at the elementary. I'm doing a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails to parents, just kind of reminders of attendance policies. I've had to send some letters. The time of year where parents are reminded that you only get 10 parental excuses in a school year. So in the whole entire year, they can only use 10 of them according to our policy. So anything over that, they have to have doctor's excuses. So I always try to remind them at the beginning of the year that anytime you can have a doctor's excuse, please send that in. I do have some, upcoming truancy.
Trying to work on it. Sorry.
Okay, so our shared PD, that's when I talked about, last month. We went in with, it was Laurel, Mohawk, Union, and the Career Center. Last year, Shenango joined us. This year, they had, backed out. We had great representation. I think we only had, 3-4 teachers in each building that weren't able to attend. And they were for, legit reasons. I feel like they got a lot out of it. They did split up. Half of the staff went to the Career Center. The other half was at Mohawk. If you had a chance to see the paper, there was an article on our main guest speaker, which was Mr. Bauman from PBE. He's the science advisor. He came in a day early in the afternoon. He drove in the morning and met in here with our staff. So he had some one-to-one time with them. Grades 3 through 6 came in and met. He actually put us to work. He did a science experiment with us, and it's pretty neat to participate in that. And then when they transitioned out, then we had the high school science teachers come in and meet with him. It was nice because it was pretty informal. They could ask any questions that they wanted about the new science standards, about the upcoming tests. I thought it was very productive. And then it also helped the next day when we went to that shared PD that they already had that rapport with him. Within that, sure.
Because the other ones are related. Dave Baldwin is very down to earth, very too. I think he alleviated some of our fears too, in that there are the depth and breadth of the science standards. And one of the, right where you're sitting, Phil, he looked at us and said, "You'll never be able to cover all the standards in your entire curriculum." I was like, okay then, we'll do the best we can. As far as the high school test, the Keystone, still going to be a biology, life science test. So when they come out with something, they have it, correct? Eventually be able to put our strategies into the new material. But I think this whole science department did a little of this. Exhaled a little bit, relaxed a little bit. Heard from the horse's mouth, if you will. So I thought not only the shared PD, hats off to you on that, because you were our representative and our coordinator from this district, but to get him in for 3 hours with our people, I mean, there are 500 school districts. I want to know out of 500, how many had that opportunity. There's 3,000 secondary buildings. I mean, several thousand elementary schools. I want to know how many got the guy for 3 hours.
He also shared out his email and everything to the staff and said, email me with questions. They were able to ask some pretty in-depth questions. He was pretty impressed meeting with them. And at the end of our shared PD, Ms. Buca came and talked to him a little bit more. And she is now going to go for 3 days in March and represent our district. She's going to be part of the Skills Resource Committee. And so there's a select few teachers throughout the whole state of PA, and he wanted her, which is hats off to her. But she will go and help vet and find resources for the skills tests and for the standards that will then be posted on.
A new teacher booked out.
She's doing amazing. My daughter has her. Great job. Yeah.
Emily. She took Jen
She's
Hordisky's
great.
place.
Hordisky.
8th grade.
It's great.
She was the one that lives in Foland, was driving an hour and a half.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and I had Mrs. Wardesky, also great job, but
Yeah.
this is different, it's good.
We had a finished product. We hired somebody else's all-star, and we're very fortunate that her circumstances and our circumstances lined up. I mean, I've walked past and we've had some conversation. To the people that observe, your thoughts.
Great.
Yeah.
We're lucky.
Send an email every Sunday of what they're doing every day of the week to all parents. I mean, she's the only teacher I get that from.
especially at the middle school level. That's
Right, yeah.
She's eager. She's doing a great job.
So you will see later when you vote, on, the training. For this training, it's gonna cost the district nothing. PDE is going to pay for the travel, the lodging, the food, and then they are also going to reimburse our district for the cost of any substitutes that will be in place for it. So, I mean, it's gonna be valuable to have her part of that and then to be able to bring that knowledge back to us. And now that she's on it, she'll be able to continue to go and be part of this.
It's good to have a seat at the table.
Yeah, absolutely. So, prior to, Mr. Bauman coming in, I did take the grades, 6 through high school teachers, 6 through 8 teachers to the IU, and we did some curriculum mapping with SEALs. After the testing is done, I would love to get those teachers together now that we've met with Mr. Bauman and have them revisit that. I think that we will be able to tackle the curriculum maps a little bit differently and kind of alter a few things. I don't see us altering a whole lot, and to be honest. One thing that I don't have on here, but I do want to mention, and Jackson showing up to this meeting kind of sparked it, is that this week is Read Across America Week with Dr. Seuss, and Jackson is a member of the National Honor Society, and they are going down to the elementary this week. Kindergarten, first, second, and third grade classes in the library. They're reading to the students and doing an activity with them.
Any questions from this? No, but just one final note relative to the experiment that he did. As far as how they want teachers to teach, I'm all in. Authentic, hands-on, discovery. But like I said, how are you going to Scantron that? How are you going to multiple choice that? You know, is the testing going to match the instruction? Because if it doesn't, that's not fair. So I think there's a lot of unknowns, but I don't think they've done anything else to prepare to be where we are at this moment in time.
Right, especially since they haven't seen anything yet. And right now they're working on the resources. They haven't met yet, and they're going to take their first test in April.
Pretty fiery.
So we just put out our Q3 progress reports. Also, last month we had our Valentine party and our 6th grade Valentine dance. Always like the Valentine dance because all those 6th graders come in all dressed up that day. You don't get to see that very often, so it's nice to see that. Last week was FFA week, so our kindergarten come up here for the animal encounter. They always have a great time with that. It's nice to get, I like when we get high school kids coming down the elementary kids coming up to high school. Those are all good experiences. Yesterday was unfortunately our last competition. It was the tribal for academic games. We did have 6 kids compete. None of them did qualify for nationals, but we had about 3 or 4 kids that were 1-1 away. Because you have to take 3 firsts, and a lot of them had 2 firsts and a second. So they were close. But we've had a good year with that this year.
Who's he watching?
Mrs. Jones. And then lastly, between Mrs. Conrad and myself, we're working on the federal programs and title monitoring. So every 4 years, we have to gather and upload all the evidence to account for all the federal dollars we get for our title services. So this is our year.
Anyone wants to know, title monies were part of the Elementary and Secondary Act, I believe, of 1965, under Lyndon Baines Johnson's point. The title monies are older than USD.
Any questions for? Yeah, thank you. Dr. Lee.
All right, just a couple things. Specifically regarding AI, I've been working with Neurobont AI in regards to creating an interactive data warehouse. It's actually really exciting. It's going to allow us to create some personalized learning activities for our students at the nice cost of $0 to our district. We're also in the process of collaborating with other districts. South Fayette was one of them that reached out to us, and we had a meeting with them last week talking about some possibilities to collaborate and do some additional things. Just a little bit about the STAT team. I don't know if Mr. Late may had some statistics. I don't have the statistics on how many devices were repaired, But I do want to just give a quick update that I try to pop in that room every day. And I've spent a lot more time up in 405 to be real close to them. And it's been really great to see them in action, to see them take things apart and put them back together. But even more importantly, just really explore and go deeper than that, really have different goals and ambitions, and just to have those technological conversations with students to really capture some excitement. I think it's a great thing we're doing, and kudos to Mr. Lake for really getting the ball rolling on that. That we're going to see a lot of benefits long term with having those kids working that program. Just wanted to give a real quick update on the First District Computer. There was an article in the Newcastle News on the 15th in regards to that, and I actually had a phone call from Mr. Heasley. He called me and we spoke for about 45 minutes or so, and he gave me a background of the whole story in regard to how it came here, what the kids were involved and so forth. And I asked him, would you be willing to come and have some of our students interview you so we could capture that, of which he said, absolutely. So that's going to happen here real soon. It'll be student driven. We want to capture that story. One thing I want to share about that, though, because it ties right with the AI, and talking to me, he was telling me, Laurel had one of the first networks and one of the first actual classrooms full of computers in the county. And he said businesses came here. I didn't know any of this. Businesses came here to come check us out. School districts came. And then he said, we actually worked with a textbook company to help deliver some technological materials. And I said, well, it's funny you said that, Mr. Heasley. I said, fast forward 35 years, we have a group of teachers and actually some students are going to be involved with working on this AI product that we're developing. So my point was, and I spoke with Mr. Rich about this, Laurel's always been at the forefront. And sometimes it's easy to overlook that and not think about it, but little Laurel being extremely innovative 40 years ago and today. So that story will be coming soon. It was an absolute treasure to speak with him, and I can't wait to capture all that information. Lastly, we had 145 help desk tickets. Our first response time was under 2 hours, and we closed tickets within 2 hours, or 2 days and 3 hours. Did not add onto this report. The copier installation is complete, and we're going through the process of rolling that out and getting staff acclimated to some of the new changes and new equipment. So, any questions for me?
No, but I talked to 4 secretaries, 2 in the high school and 2 in the elementary, and they're happy with the new copiers. So there you go.
Talking with Mr. Heasley would be interesting. He is one of the early guys. And back when we did the renovation in 97, 98, I mean, we rewired the whole building for electric, the whole building for Cat5 wires. The IRC rooms upstairs, those were a big deal back then. All the weight screens we had, we were way ahead of everybody. It was good timing though when we did the addition that we were able to do.
Double D.
He got us a line from the high school. Whatever line is it? Help me out. Fiber line, which no one had.
Yeah.
Here to the elementary.
Very
He was very good at that stuff. Very good.
I can't wait to share it. Eventually we'll have it, we'll play it, we'll share it, we'll push it out to everyone, because I believe it'll be a treasure. So we'll capture all that.
He's a relatively new father.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yes, the last couple of years. He also started a church, and they painted it black and orange to attract the motorcycle crowd. So
He's down the
Harley Davidson,
down the south somewhere.
South Carolina. He's in the same district as Pat Kulak. They're in the Horry County, South Carolina School District. The budget there, sir, is $1 million for that school district.
Wow.
Yes.
Probably would like to know the students' issue. Probably for retirees. Mrs. Conrad's absent to say thank you.
No, I just want to thank everybody for the comprehensive reports. I want to remind the board, we'll have an executive session after this work session.
Okay, Item 5, comments, questions from the floor relative to any agenda items. Mr. Carter, just so you know, this meeting type is usually when we discuss items that will be voted on next Wednesday's meeting. So if you would happen to come to next Wednesday's meeting, it would be a much shorter meeting, but it would be mainly just voting because, we have a week to discuss, I think, or whatever we discussed. Item 6, we will have approval of the minutes. Item 7, we will have approval of the treasurer's report. And I believe the stuff that we don't have, Jen will have it to us by Wednesday. Investment report, the approval of bill listings, food service fund bills. Item 9, board action items, personnel, retirement resignations, retirement of Miss Amanda Wade, elementary teacher, 6th grade science, effective June 4th, 2025. And item 2, retirement of Miss Lori Heights, family and consumer science teacher, effective June 4th, 2025. Any questions on item B? Is that next? Connects advisor. Turning the position into 2 positions, co-advisors, the appointment of Miss Emily Bucha as co-advisor at the rate of $225, half of the $450 for the 24-25 school year. As per collective bargaining agreement, this position will be split with Mrs. Lennox for no additional cost to the district. Questions on item B? Item C, girls track coach. Approve employment of Brooke Atkins, the girls junior high middle school track coach at the rate of $2,050, step 1 of the collective bargaining agreement for the 24-25 school year, effective upon receipt of required documentation. Any questions on item C? Item D is approve Ms. Kathy Barker as a mentor teacher for Audria Canage at the rate of $600 as per collective bargaining agreement. Any questions on item D? Item E, professional development workshops. Approve Jen Quinlan to use of force instructor certification training in Newcastle on May 26th through 30th. At the cost of the district is $1,500 for registration. This course may not have enough interest to occur. So I guess
If it happens, we'll pay for it.
right. Emily Bucha as a National Science Teaching Association National Conference in Philadelphia, March 26th through the 29th. At the approximate cost of the district of $2,011 for substitute registration, lodging, mileage, and meals. And item 3 is Emily Bucha, PDE Steels Training in Harrisburg on March 3rd through the 5th. Cost of the district, no cost of the district, all costs reimbursed by PDE. And
That's just actually for the conference on Friday, but I just needed to turn it back up in, but I was running around like an idiot with the copier. So it'll be on there for next week. Sorry about that.
any questions on item D? Item E, I guess that is. Item F, addition to the volunteer and non-instructional substitute listing for 2024-2025 school year. You should have that list in your information. Item D, board action items, committee of the whole settlement agreement with the PA Leadership Cyber Charter School for $400 for tuition for the 2016-2017 school year.
Let me give a little bit of background. So it appears that this cyber charter school is re-invoicing what they feel are contested amounts. I don't know of a superintendent in the IU who didn't get one. Ours started out at a little over $800. I know, I believe Newcastle's was in the thousands of dollars. We went back, Jim went back and looked at the rates that we claim because it's based upon our cost per student. We can't necessarily find exactly what they're talking about, but it was a year or two before she got here. So, there's,
Retro, sorry.
this is retro.
This is a long time.
Yeah, so, in the end, we could continue to fight for $800. Matt suggested, how about we make it for $400, tell them to go away, you know. What's Matt's phone call cost? You know, so for $400, this goes away. I think we're just caught up because they can't skip us and just go after the big fish. You know, if there's a thing they're gonna go after.
I agree. It's a big ask him after like years later.
Yeah,
I mean,
7. 2016-17 school year.
Item B, approve the attached 2025-2026 operating budget for the Midwest Reading Unit, amount of $442,185 as approved by the IU Board of Directors on January 22nd, 2025. Laurel's projected contribution is $11,666. The prior year was $11,845. Also, what's actually been done?
Yeah.
Any questions on item B? Item C, approve Danielle Catalan from Goodson College student teacher under Mr. Skrubetz and Ms. Walter for the spring 2026. Any questions on item B? Item D, grant permission for Ms. Kristen Klinger to, along with Mohawk School District, to co-host PMEA Regional 1 Chorus Festival be held on February 19th through the 21st, 2026 at the Scottish Rite Cathedral. Any questions on item D? Item E, adopt the attached comprehensive plan for the Lowell School District following the required 28-day review period. The plan has been on display since February 5th. Any questions on item E? Item F, renewal agreement to extend the current agreement with Sager Motors to provide transportation and roadway services from July 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025 at the rate of $50,000 beginning January 1st, 2025. The current agreement will terminate and Sager Motors will be retained for the transportation consultant rate of $50 an hour per quarter hour. Any discussion on item F?
No, this will be one we'll discuss in the future in the roadways and transportation department. Mr. Sager stay as part of our executive session.
Item G, approve hire Lee Pierce to compete as an independent gymnast in the WPIAL representing Laurel School District for the 2025-2026 season. Summer Pierce parent is recognized as her coach. All costs of transportation will be their parents' responsibility. Item H, disposal of obsolete textbooks. Is this elementary, high school?
I think it's just wherever we have obsolete.
Okay.
And they be donated to some schools, maybe let them stay with the
We,
cost.
we usually do ask around if schools want, a lot of times I'll reach out to the academy and, if they go to schools if they don't go. Sometimes by the time we get rid of them, they're in such bad shape that they're not really useful.
and Brothers used to, they come and get them as well. Brothers organization. So.
Item I, field trips. See any there, so. Item 11, comments, questions from the floor relative to limit.
Some question about the natural vacuums.
Do you have any direct benefit?
Yes.
I would say that's no. Well, she giving you a cut of the $2 grand. If she is, you might want to abstain.
Is there any new business? If not, I will adjourn the meeting.
Take a couple minutes.